Hello, thank you for watching, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be here today. And stay tuned for another exciting episode. And without further ado, let's get started. So here we have a post-construction, post-installation floor cleaning. Now, truth be told, that this floor was previously mopped by the owner. And as I always say, you can't clean floors with just a mop if you're going to try to remove residue and sawdust and things that are very difficult to come out of your floor. So it always needs a deep cleaning approach. It always needs a deep cleaning methodology, and that's where we come in. We come in with our equipment, commercial equipment, heavy duty equipment, with the proper chemicals, the proper bonnets, and the proper know-how and expertise to get the job done effectively and proficiently. And that's what we're here to do. So the client, and I believe the installer, they have their own cleaning crew, and they tried to remove some of this construction residue, and their attempts were not successful. So we are here. We have done this a bunch of times, and we're going to show you a little bit of the process. And I'm going to kind of give you some background information and delve into the steps of this particular process. And this is part of the SET method. This is soil extraction transfer technology, where we're transferring the soil and the residue that's on the floor to the pad. And the goal is to make sure that that residue is removed off the floor. And first of all, you got to have the right machine. Mopping is just a maintenance clean. It does not remove this type of residue. It doesn't remove post-construction dust. It doesn't remove the contaminants that are on your floor. So this machine will, the proper chemistry will. So what we're going to use is the Autobahn NutriFloor cleaner. I believe I showed that earlier. And that's a great cleaner. This is a commercial cleaner that I'm using, and it's a neutral pH, but it's something that you need to have to remove the residue. I could go with the higher pH product, but then I would have to neutralize the floors again. So we're going to try to do an all-in-one buff and clean process here with the neutral product. And since I have a powerful enough machine, safely powerful, we can improve the solution's capabilities with our orbital motion. And this machine is a 19-inch orbital machine. It is 3/4 horsepower. So it is a powerful machine, and the orbital action gives it more power. So people will say, well, your rotary's 1.5 horsepower, but with the thumping and the orbital action, the vibrating, the tapping, all that gives you a more powerful clean. So we don't have to rely on as much horsepower. But as you can see, we're using a 2-inch thick microfiber bonnet, and it has a foam layer in between the microfiber. So it's absorbing a lot of the solution that we put down, and we're only using a minimal amount. We're not spraying a liberal amount of solution. We're using a very minimalistic approach to laying down the solution, because this is a low moisture approach. This is engineered wood floors, just installed. We don't want to have any issues. We don't want to be responsible for any issues of cupping or any kind of issues like that. We want to take the safest, most conservative approach to cleaning these floors. So we are buffing the floors. At the same time, we're cleaning and extracting the residue off the floor. And you can see just how well this is working. So the problem with this floor was when the client was walking on it, it left footprints. It left footprints, shoe prints, and it was just tracking, that around the house. So they were having tracks essentially around the house. So you definitely don't want to have that. You definitely want to make your floors look nice and presentable and clean looking, right? So these are new floors, and a lot of people think because you have new floors, they're not dirty, but they're actually really dirty. You have to remove what is on that floor during the installation process. And that's what this machine does. And so we are aiming to neutralize the floors and take off that residue. So we are extracting the residue, and we're using two machines also. If I didn't mention that earlier, we're using the Oric Orbiter, which is a miniature version of this machine. It's a 13-inch orbital, half horsepower, and we're using a microfiber bonnet as well. And it works really good. The head weight on this machine is almost second to none as far as the orbitals go, but it is smaller. So we're using that, but I'm getting large areas and he's getting the smaller areas in the home. And you can see the floors are starting to come out really nice. It's starting to be shiny and brilliant, and it's almost like a work of art. It's a masterpiece, what we're going to do here. And when we're done, we're going to do the footprint test. We're going to walk around the floors, and we're going to see if we have any footprints, right? So if we have footprints, that means we need to keep going. So in this process, we didn't show the pre-vacuuming, but pre-vacuuming is a must. We did dust the baseboards. We did dust around the walls there. This is a post-construction cleanup, so we have to do as much dusting, gathering up the construction dust, and doing the proper amount of prep work before we do the extraction that we're doing right now. So we definitely have to remove all the abrasives off the floor, and that's what we're doing. And when we walk on it, we're going to have no footprints, no nothing. It's going to look immaculate. The customer's going to be happy. And, you know, this whole process is very unique to Tallahassee because there's not a whole lot of companies that do this. I've done it extensively for years. There's a lot of companies that are going to use a big machine, and they're going to spray the floors down, and they're going to get them real wet, and they're going to extract it that way. And that is, unfortunately, and potentially can cause damage to your floor. It could lead to cupping, and, you know, water can get in a crevice. It can get behind a corner rounds in your baseboards. Swelling can happen, cupping, swelling, and more catastrophically, you could have a mold issue if you're having too much water that seeps into the flooring. And that is a rarity on this case, to be honest, but things can happen. So you want to use a minimal amount of water. And with this machine, again, those other machines also don't buff the floor. So we are bringing a nice natural shine to the floor simultaneously. And again, this is an innovative approach, soil extraction transfer technology. It sets us apart from the rest. So, and not to mention, there's not too many other companies that I know of in Tallahassee. They're going to take the time to explain this process, explain their processes, and be transparent through video. And that's what I'm doing. So at the same time, I'm promoting this service. I'm also trying to educate clients, maybe even educate some cleaning professionals on the proper maintenance and the proper way to take care of floors, and also deep clean the floors. So here we're doing the post walkthrough inspection. Very important step, because we want to make sure we're walking through there and we're not leaving footprints, making sure the floors aren't sticky, and we just want to make sure the floors are great, because this is a big investment for the client. This is about a $30,000 investment in their home, and they chose us to take care of their $30,000 investment. And that means a lot because they trust us to do this job.